Hey, what is up, guys? We are back with #what hashtag 48. As always, I'm your host Jace, and I'm going to start the show a little bit differently. I thought I'd just bang out a quick few bits of news before we go on to what I would call squeaky bum time. So the thing I thought that I spotted on the news, I thought just wanted to give it a quick mention, but not dwell on it too long, is that Lindsay Lohan has lost her lawsuit against Grand Theft Auto. The judge had ruled, I think it was a New York judge, had ruled that the game's unique story, characters, dialogue, and environment, combined with the player's ability to choose how to proceed in the game, rendered it a work of fiction and satire. So Lindsay Lohan and the Bikini Girl, she failed her lawsuit. Lindsay Lohan, you can fuck off. And yeah, so I'm always joined by my friend, my very good pal, Squeak. How are you, mate?
Friend's a bit of a strong word, isn't it?
How would you describe yourself?
I don't know. Acquaintance?
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 Former lover? No? You don't want to accept former lover? Hello? Squeak, did I lose you? Okay, so it looked like the podcast gods are trying to hit us down, and they, cut off Squeak's internet for a minute there. As Squeak didn't disagree with being my former lover, that is the title that he is now assuming. But Squeak, have you considered, I haven't really looked into it, but Vodafone have got their own, fibre optic broadband now, haven't they? And you don't have to get line rent or anything like that. Have you considered that? Yeah, have you seen it?
No, I haven't.
I'll quickly try and look it up and see if I can find a bit of information on it, because I've seen the adverts on TV talking about their broadband, and yeah, the one thing that they boast, I think, is that you don't have to have line rental.
The thing is, Virgin Media is supposed to be fucking decent, but no. The amount of issues that I've seen people having, it's almost like they've sold to too many people, but not got the whole infrastructure down.
It's really weird because I have had very minimal issues when it comes to my internet with Virgin. If I've had issues with my internet, it's been where I use my hub purely as a modem. I have a separate router.
Yeah.
So I think that where I do that, obviously it just takes, because I think the issues people have had is when they've tried to connect too many devices to the one super hub. I think that's been a downfall. But in regards to my connection and throttling, I don't really ever get affected by that from what I can see.
I was going to say, well, Virgin Media only throttle your upload, so they don't throttle your down. But it's my actual speeds that are fucking being hit and shit. It was the other night I was getting less than 1. It's like, come on, man. I'm paying for 100. How you give me?
Yeah, that is a bit ridiculous.
Yeah. Terrible. But it's only been this past year.
See, yeah, I'm just trying to think of who other people use. 'Cause I know my brother was using that. Was my brother using TalkTalk or something similar? I'm sure he was using somebody that wasn't like Sky or Virgin or anyone like that.
And he swapped to BT, didn't he?
Yeah.
If you remember.
See, if you remember back in the day, BT was fucking terrible for Ellis. He could not connect, gaming-wise, he could not do anything.
Yeah, I do remember that, actually. No, the weird thing was, though, I used to be on BT, and I'd probably say, I didn't get the speeds that Virgin give me, but I say that, I don't really get the fucking speeds now that Virgin are saying they give me. But, I always had a decent connection.
Yeah.
So it's really odd. It's odd just how it works. It must just be the areas and stuff.
So just looking at this, I just had a quick look, so I won't dock you, but using your address, it just says we're able to provide Vodafone broadband at your property by using a new line. We would need to install a new line at your property. We'll give you a new number once the line has been installed. There's also a £60 one-off connection charge. So I guess you do still have to have the line on there. If I just press get broadband speed and see what speed you could get. If you're a Virgin customer, I won't be able to cancel your Virgin broadband and phone services on your behalf. So if you're on Virgin, you're going to Vodafone, they won't do it for you. You'll have to make that call yourself. Yeah. So you're saying on here, you can get unlimited standard broadband 17, and the average speed is 3 megabytes per second to 5.75 megabytes per second. Minimum guaranteed download speed is 2 megabytes per second, and estimated upload speed is 0.70 to 1. So it's not amazing.
Yeah.
But just having a look now,
the
unlimited broadband usage is £4 a month, plus £18 line rental. Oh, there is a line rental. I thought the way they done it is that they were boasting that they didn't have one.
Okay. The thing is, like I say, back in the day with BT, it was the thing of, again, they didn't have amazing speeds and that. They didn't give you all these, 200 fucking, down and stuff like that. And it's sort of but it was stable, it connected, it fucking worked.
Yeah.
With Virgin, it's we'll just say we're gonna give you this, but who knows? You might not.
So I wonder if because I'm on the friends and family package through Jeets, if I get some secret priority
privileges.
Do you know what I mean? I'm just above you muggles. Maybe. I don't know. But I mean, aside from your internet issues on an evening when we're trying to make the podcast, how has your week been?
It has been okay.
Yeah?
I've been what have I been doing? I don't even know anymore. I've been on the beta, Battlefield beta.
Okay, yeah.
That come out what was it? Would have been Thursday.
What are your impressions of it? How did you feel about it?
You know what? I was I'm not gonna get it. But looking at it, I've been really enjoying it.
Okay.
But I don't know if it's that thing where it's everybody's playing again, back together, and sort of
that element, the social side
element of it. Yeah.
Yeah. The thing that I found, the thing that I found is that it's the beta, so it's going to be a bit wobbly, if you will. But I just I felt like it's cool how they've incorporated that when you spawn in a vehicle, you start in that class of person. So I swear you can be like the guy on the horse and he's got either a sword or I don't even know what the gun was called. But he was pretty, I felt like when I was, there were people up on one of the cliff sides, and when I rode up, once I took out a few of them, I was able to one-shot snipers quite well.
Yeah.
And I felt like it kind of gave that balance where the gun wasn't too powerful. If I hit them in the chest, then it was taking 2 shots, I think, on average. But it wasn't too much of a mission to try and get the headshot. I felt like it wasn't too bad when it wasn't being so wobbly. One thing that I did see, I can't remember, so I can't credit the Reddit user, but somebody showed a picture, and it showed that the weather is possibly client-side and not server-side.
Yeah, Spree's told me about that. His friend, had fog or something,
yeah,
but then
he had a clear screen.
That is an issue.
So if that is the case, I mean, I'm hoping it's, again, something that's just in the beta and it will be fixed. But otherwise, that is just a really stupid idea. Why would they make it so that, for me, I'm in a sandstorm and I can't see 2 feet in front of me, but you can ping me from 40 yards because on yours, there's nothing.
Yeah. Another issue I've sort of found with it is I heard they've tried putting in realistic bullet drop. I was going to say there is no bullet drop, but it's the case of the short to medium range is more realistic. So it's there's no bullet drop, but it's sort of made snipers point and click sort of guns because there's no idle sway as far as I can see.
The thing is, I was going to say I did find sniping a bit easier on this. The thing that I kept doing, right, so I'm programmed that whenever I play, I spot before I shoot. That's just how I play. So I'll be looking and I'll press RB before I press RT because I'd rather that the team saw them and if I miss, everybody's shooting at him than just me. Yeah. And I found that I'd done it a few times when I could have took the shot, but instead I was pressing RB and missing the shot. But then when I started to take the shot, I was getting quite a few kills, which surprised me because normally on a sniper I'm not that great.
Yeah, I think the thing is though, it's that thing where they need to do the gameplay over realism thing and add the bullet drop in again and make sniping what it was, more difficult, and it's something that you'd either learn and pick up or you just wouldn't and you'd stay shit at, because it's that thing where it is sort of point and click now, it's affecting gameplay because everybody thinks they can snipe and wants to snipe, but they should be playing the objective.
The thing with Dice, as we know, is that when the people speak, they do listen. EA is obviously a corporation that people don't have a lot of love for, but, even if they don't all listen to what can necessarily be the right voices in quotation marks, they do listen. So we've had things like with the stingers, where they've nerfed stingers in the past, or where they've added flares to vehicles, taken flares away. Have you done much aerial combat?
I have.
See, I haven't piloted, but it's such a weird thing being like on the front gun and trying to shoot, because every time I jumped in, it was always somebody fleeing. I could never get into, because I'm pretty shit hot when it was in the jets on the old one, and I am yet to get in one of these planes and actually pilot it myself, because I feel like everyone I jumped into, they were fleeing.
The default controls that they have are so awful, awful. Like, but yeah, they're pretty interesting. Like, you can have cannons on them and stuff like that, and different ammunition types for like tanks and just things like that. But like I say, the sniping for me is the main thing that they fucked up, because it's that thing of, it's like the other day we had a squad of 5, and then there was 6 more people on the team. Those 6 people were sniping, and there was 2 people in our squad that were sniping, and which left 3 of us to fight off 3 tanks, defuse 2 bombs, and fight the people all at the same time.
Okay, I was gonna say I haven't really played much Rush. I played a bit with, like, briefly with Sprees and Beans before they got disconnected with their internet issues.
Yeah.
But I was playing with Haddy, Frizzle, can't remember who else. But yeah, like I was playing, because what I remember is we were playing the what's the mode called if it's not Conquest? We were playing that, and it was one of those where we managed to get into a tank, and me and Frizzle literally just drove in a loop, just collecting every flag over and over again.
Yeah.
So like I felt like it was quite good in that way, because it wasn't too difficult. I like the way that with a tank, if you want your tank to be really effective, you need to have the whole team in it, because one turret doesn't do a 360 spin.
That's the thing, like, unless it's the light tank, like, the driver just gets a machine gun.
Yeah.
Like, I do like that aspect of it, because it's sort of, but again, there's other bits of it, I think, like, again, the team play, the snipers take it out of it because it's too easy to do, so everyone does it. The medics, I found it's really hard to see who needs picking up, because you've got a call for it, and people can skip it and just spawn anyway.
Yeah.
So it's that thing of, by the time, if I'm a medic, by the time I get to you and you've not called it, I'm trying to figure out if you're just a dead body or like whatever.
That's the thing. I think that what would have been helpful is if it was still in the way that it used to be, where it showed the revive icon,
rather than calling for it.
But then when you call it, if it made it like bigger, or like the message comes up and it like blinks on your map or something, just a little extra prompt.
Yeah.
Because I guess it is one of those things where if you want to respawn quickly, you can respawn quicker. But yeah, I thought it was a good touch adding the I need reviving, because I feel like the amount of times we'd play on, like, say, Metro, and you'd be like dead on the stairs, and you're like, there's like 4 medics, why is nobody reviving me? Because they're too busy fighting. Having that prompt in a fight can kind of get the person to look.
It's like I say though, where you've got a call for it, it's an issue, because it's like the just before I was playing with Sprees and that, and he was like, "Oh, can you pick me up?" And I couldn't see him. I was just running around, jabbing the ground. It's like,
the thing is, if they had a system like it's on some of the MMOs. So like on Neverwinter, they have it where if somebody goes down, everybody can see they're down and can be revived. But if that person presses A to call for help, it does like a little like a light shines out of them briefly.
Okay. Yeah.
And like every time they tap A, they'll flash. So like I said, just having that little prompt where like on the HUD it will show like a little marker that like gets larger than smaller really quickly. Like if they just done that once, that's better than it saying nothing and then saying like something small when you request it, which I think would be pretty cool. They haven't the what's it called? What are they called? The blimps. They haven't added those to the beta, have they? I haven't seen hide nor hair of those. So that's good.
It's not that map. If you look on Conquest, you get the train, which is the behemoth for that map.
Okay.
But I haven't been in that yet.
Yeah, no, I haven't even seen it.
I've seen it, and I've been killed by it a few times, but I've never seen it for my team, sort of thing. Yeah. I've always seen it for the other team.
Typical, isn't it?
Typical.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, overall, I guess there's good and bad points, but Battlefield 1 has got you interested? Will you be playing with your money?
I don't know. I really
think
don't
so?
know.
It sounded more like a think. Well, put it this way: before you were a no.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's sort of, again, it's that team aspect and stuff, but again, it's that thing where there's certain, it feels frustrating to play where like I was saying the other day, there was three of us trying to do everything and everyone else was just sat on a rock sniping. And it's sort of like, what's the fucking point in playing if like you're the only ones doing stuff? It feels like too much work to be fun. Do you know what I mean? It's just a bag of frustration. It's like, fuck's sake, like why is no one else doing shit? Like, and then they're sat there probably like, why is no one taking out the tanks? Even though they're like just sniping.
Yeah.
Why the hell aren't they defusing the bomb? What the hell? It's like, well, fucking maybe if you went sat a million fucking miles away looking through your fucking laser rifle, just fucking pointing and clicking at motherfuckers. Like, shit to get done.
Well, Battlefield 1, the beta's still active at the moment, but the game is being released on October 21st. The issue with that, Squeak, is that I won't be playing that for the week it comes out.
Yeah.
Which is an interesting one. Yeah. October 21st, coming out. And I'm just thinking the amount of people that would have bought it and, won't be playing it on that Saturday. That's actually quite funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, moving on to other stuff that's relatively new. Squeak. I gave you a little, in the run sheet. I dedicated this to you because I saw you were playing it earlier today. I'm assuming you were playing it earlier today. But your Nuka World experience.
Yeah.
Talk me through it. Set the scene.
Well, to be fair, I completed the main quest line and quite a few. Well, I'm quite high now, I reckon. Probably not as high as some because people have been beating it up in it, and I thought I'd go back. I played DLCs, so I did Far Harbor. That was all right. But yeah, I've travelled to a new land. Well, actually, I've fucked off to a theme park, mate. Basically, there's it's a big theme park. It's all gone to shit, as the wasteland is.
Yes.
And there's a group. Well, I say a group. I murdered off the boss and took over, and I'm in control, sort of three groups, and I've got to take over each area of the theme park, and then throw someone in charge of that area and stuff, and then they eventually will like me more or less. Each group is sort of different. One is they like violence, one likes money, and the other is just like assert your fucking dominance. Like,
the thing is then, so are they all opposing groups? Are they all competing?
They actually live in peace. They like sort of got brought together. I don't fully know the history of it, sort of thing, but they got brought together, and then they have like this one leader, which is the guy that I killed with a water gun. But yeah.
Tell me you have a clip of that on your DVR.
No, I don't. No, I don't. But the thing is,
sorry, it's on YouTube. I would have showed you it otherwise.
It's not essentially killed him with water gun, but he had special armor with like electric shielding and stuff, so you couldn't shoot him.
Okay.
And the guy gave me a water pistol. Was like, yo, go at him with this. And it's like, really, a water pistol? So that took his shield down and then I mini nuked him.
Oh wow.
And that was all she wrote.
Gave him the water bomb, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, because I was wondering when you were describing the three different ones, I was wondering if it was going to be like the Legion and the NCR, but just kind of in a theme park.
No, it's not like the warring as such. I don't know if there will be a point where they will war, because it's the thing of, I give an area to each of them. So whether it's a case of if I was to favor one over the others, whether that would kick off or not.
Yeah.
So I've not really got the whole thing down yet. I've only really gone to one area in it, which was like a space area. It was pretty good. But the robots are fuckers and stuff. They're all shooting at me and that. But yeah. But I've been enjoying the mods on it.
Okay. Yeah. I still haven't even jumped on that.
Giving it a different look. Like I got like grasslands and stuff, so it all looks like
a bit more green.
Yeah, it just looks more interesting, to be honest. Like,
Okay.
instead of drab and everything's fucked up, and, well, everything's still fucked up, but,
Just
just with,
it's like you're taking your joy.
yeah.
It
It
looks a lot
is. It
nicer.
is. It's like skipping through the fields. And, like, the worst thing is, though, because there's trees now, it's like the other day I was on Far Harbor,
Hmm.
and there's different monsters on it, and I've never seen it before, but I was just wandering through the trees, and the trees were all in my way, and then it just come out of the trees at me, and it scared the shit out of me, man. I'm not gonna lie, that was me just running. But yeah,
Okay.
so it
So
just
you're
changes up the
enjoying it.
gameplay quite a bit. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm getting back into it.
Good, good, good. Yeah. So looking at the next item of news, seeing as it's coming out soon, there's been a bit of news about it with Call of Duty XP going on this weekend. There's been a bit of news for Infinite Warfare, a few reveals around like multiplayer and things like that. Looking at it, it looks like they're doing something a bit similar to the specialists that were in Black Ops 3. So what they've got
Uh,
is they've got combat rigs, which come with equipment and prototype weapons, and the 6 rigs are basically suits, from what I can see, that are worn in multiplayer matches. So you've got the Warfighter, the Merc, FTL, Striker, Phantom, and Synaptic. So it's one of those where they kind of done that so that you've got somewhere that you start with your loadout. So yeah, just kind of looking through some of the stuff that VG247 sort of said. Each rig lets the player choose different payloads and traits before heading into battle. Payloads can be more powerful weapons or abilities, and traits are either persistent overcharged enchantments or abilities which are refilled every few seconds. So it's a bit like the specialist perk that they had in Black Ops 3. They do look pretty cool, the view of each of them, and like I said, they all have their own different payloads and traits. I guess because they're giving, well, I guess if you had the pre-order, because they're giving us the Call of Duty Modern Warfare like remastered, if they're giving us that online, which I believe they've got all of the original maps on there, they can kind of get
okay.
away with doing something different on the newer one.
Yeah, I think I won't be getting this game.
Yeah, no, I think it's kind of the thing like what Spree said as well. It's a bit of a generation thing of the people that have been playing since COD 4. Some of them will be really die-hard COD fans and will still play it because it's COD. But for some
Yeah.
of us, we still hold on to the nostalgia of the older ones, and now the newer ones are a bit like, do you know what? We've kind of had enough of the direction you're going in now. We're going to leave it. But then those people that have, that are coming of age and playing it from Black Ops 2, say, for them, it is an improvement in the right direction. I think that whereas we
Yeah.
would like to have to gone one way to the left, naturally it's gone to the right, which doesn't suit us, but does suit a lot of other people.
See, the thing is, I do like the look of the zombies on it, but it's going to be one of those where, like with Black Ops 3, I sort of felt I didn't really get value for money from it because I was paying about what in the end it was about what 5 maps or so, paying like 15 quid a map. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I paid £90 for the whole game. Like it's not really value for money. Because like if I was into the multiplayer like I used to be, I'd be like cool. And if I did the story like I used to, I'd be like cool. But I'm basically buying it now for just one aspect of it, and it's not worth it.
No. Yeah. So they've said that sorry to cut you off. I'm just saying that they've said that the beta will be kicking off on the 14th of October. It's supposed to be coming to PS4 owners who pre-order, but it hasn't really said much else about when it comes to everybody else.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
you
See,
know,
on about directions, I do think Battlefield has took a right direction in sort of because the thing is, realistically, they could have took it towards the future. Do you know what I mean?
hmm
Like every other game has sort of had that going on, and I think they sort of took the right turn in going like, oh, we'll make a U-turn on it and we'll go back
The thing that
rather
I'm quite
than
surprised that hasn't happened, I guess like they kind of dipped a bit towards it with Hardline, but I'm surprised that they haven't decided to go back and try and like revamp Bad Company. That's
yeah.
surprising with the way that companies have been going with the remastering and bringing back old parts of things and paying homage to things. I was quite surprised not to hear Bad Company, Bad Company 3 versus
Yeah,
Bad Company 4
yeah.
that we'd be getting.
It would be Bad Company 3
3, yeah.
because Bad Company 2, yeah.
So yeah,
That they was quite good though as battlefields because I'd say they were better than like the likes of your Hardline
mm,
and I'd say Battlefront as well as sort of spin-offs.
Thing is, Hardline, they cheaped out on us. But, if you've listened to the show before, you already know Squeak's opinion on it. It should have been an arcade game, not a full price. Pay us 50 quid for it. Yeah, that was just bullshit.
Yeah. But, like I say, as again, sort of, I don't know, spin-offs or like sort of offshoots of the franchise. Bad Company was a good one, I'd say. Mm-hmm. So if you think, Bad Company was the first one to sort of bring in that destruction, and it was a bit more light-hearted.
Yeah.
Like, especially with the story and that, you had like, I can't even remember their names. I just remember that Haggard guy. Was that his name? With the shotty, and he was a bit dumb. Yeah. But yeah, like, I reckon that would have been alright. And the Vietnam one that they did, the add-on, was really good as well.
I never played that one.
That was really good. I think if they went and did a Battlefield Vietnam again, almost like they're doing Battlefield 1, I reckon they'd do quite well with it. But the thing that is sort of on my mind with Battlefield 1 right now is, other than the issues we spoke about, is sort of, are they going to do a Battlefront on us? Or are they going to do a Hardline on us where you're only getting little in the base game and then later on they will add to it to make it an actual game?
Yeah, I think as annoying as that is, Hardline really stiffed the consumer because, what was it? I feel like it was a year before anything actually came out for Hardline, additionally. Yeah. And I think as long as they have that clear calendar and showing you what's going on, then at least it's an annoying model, but you can see. You can see the timeline and what's going on when. I think it's really annoying how people paid for a season pass, and say the season pass, if it was to only last a year, nothing came out.
Yeah. I think it's the, I think Battlefield, looking at the beta, they do have plenty of guns in there. They're all pretty similar. You can't see what you can modify to them, but they all have different sort of aspects to them as well. So it's they're sort of showing you the content without giving it you, but it's the sense of, like, if I remember with Battlefront, Star Wars, how many maps did they have in that? Like 4 or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that. It's things like that that's the issue, because things like that, it's just a blatant cash-in. And it's sort of, and I just don't want Battlefield 1 to be that. Okay. But, they've burnt people twice, will they do it again?
Yeah, the gaming industry it's at an awkward time. So before I go into this week's WhatsApp, I noticed another bit of news. So, a few weeks ago, this app came out that a few people downloaded, Pokemon Go. They lost 15 million users as the summer ended. I think it was 15 million. So obviously the game was booming, everybody was on it. But as summer started to end, people have gone out and pretty much a load of people have caught them all, and loads of various things happened, and just naturally the hype's kind of faded. But recently there's been some people who have been doing some data mining and found something which indicates what could come in a future update in the coming weeks. So they're looking at introducing what is called Pokebuddies. So again, this is all theory, it's not confirmed, it's just what somebody has found within the code. But what it's supposed to do is that you would select a Pokemon that you have to be your Pokebuddy, and then they would walk with you, or you take them for a walk or something along those lines in order to earn the types of candy they have. So I think with this, it can be quite a big thing for if you have a Pokemon that is really rare. Say, I don't know, say you're level 10 and you caught like an Aerodactyl. There was a cap, but then if you don't see any more Aerodactyls, you wouldn't get any Aerodactyl candy, therefore you couldn't level him up. So when you're level 20, he'd still be stuck on the level that he was on before, when he was level capped.
Yeah.
So it's one of those where they're saying it can be a good tool, because then you're able to earn the candies by buddying up with this Pokemon. But then this kind of means that the quest that there's been and the grind that there's been for people to get enough Magikarps to get Gyarados, I think I'm on 300 and something at the moment. Ellis is at like 380 possibly. You need 400. So it just kind of means that I guess people can start to use other exploits to just take their Pokebuddy for a walk and end up with the candies to get them by other means. But it's just interesting just to kind of see that it feels like the game's been out for ages because there was so much news on it.
Yeah.
But it's quite good to see that they are still coming up with new updates. People say, like, when's the trading going to come out? but to be fair, people are able to pretty much get. I think you can get 140 without having to go to other countries. I think. So it's one of those where I guess like the trading element, nobody's gonna really. If you get a legendary bird, nobody's gonna trade a legendary bird if they've only got one. And I don't know how easy it's going to be to get more than one because I'm not even in the game yet. But yeah, so this week's WhatsApp, it is Pokemon, but this one is the Pokemon trading card game online. I'm not sure how long the app has been out for, but I know that it was something on the PC, free-to-play game, and I played it a few times, got my ass handed to me, but then I saw it came up as an app in the App Store, so I thought, okay, I'll give this a go. Like, try and get back into it, and it's not so... I can play it a bit more casually rather than at my desk. Playing it through, it plays just like the PC application. For whatever reason on iOS, Apple have decided that they don't want people to be able to use redeem codes to get booster packs. So that is not available on the iOS app. I'm not sure if it's available on the Android app because I don't have an Android tablet, but it is available on Android tablets. There is a little, I don't know if I want to call it a hack or a modification you can make so that you can play it on the phone. But with the amount of information on the screen on the iPad, I feel like putting it on my phone, it would just be all way too small.
Okay.
So yeah, so it pretty much plays like other card games. It plays like the Pokemon card game. You have your few basic decks that you have. Your options are to play against trainers, so the trainer challenge where you play against an AI. It shows you the type of decks the AI have, whether they're fire, whether they're water, whether they're fighting, if they've got a mix. And you can kind of use that as a starting point to learn how to play the game and figure it out a bit. As you battle them, each of them have 4 stars. So there's 3 difficulties. I think it's like easy, medium, hard. Then there's also 3 levels of trophy. I think it's silver, gold, platinum. Once you beat somebody up to when you beat somebody up to a certain star, you'll get either some of the currency, the Pokemon tokens, or they'll give you a booster pack. And then obviously when you get these booster packs with all the decks that you get, all the decks you start off with, you're able from the start to start making your own decks. And you can pick and choose which cards you want and build your own deck. But then as you play through, get your booster packs, then you're able to build it up more and more. The thing that I quite like is that they've got it so that when you get a pack, every time you play a game, you will get Pokemon tokens. You use these tokens to buy your packs, or buy a deck, or you can buy like different, what they called, like the coins that you use when you're flipping heads or tails for stuff. You get to kind of buy all those little bits, and you can, if you want, you can pay for certain things so you can get these tokens. Or you can buy the booster packs outright with cash. What they've done is that if you're playing the game and you earn a booster pack for free, then the items in that pack are untradeable. But if you've got stuff by other means, so there's 2 ways you can do it. You can play in tournaments where you get booster packs. In those, they are tradable. But then, yeah, if you spend your own money, then you can trade those cards as well. What I quite like is that because they've got the trading market, it's that thing like in the real world, an unopened booster pack is worth more than an opened one.
Yeah.
So at the moment, I was looking at it today and I was showing Ben Jenkins, I was showing him about how I've got these packs that are unopened, but because I've got them, I've actually got a bit of collateral so that I can start to trade with people for more powerful cards. Where I've been kind of playing, it was a slow grind at the beginning, trying to find my feet, trying to perfect my deck and things like that, but I've got to a point now where I can hold my own against the big boys, because I don't know what your knowledge is like of Pokemon cards, Squeak, but they've got EX cards, which I only just recently learned about. Obviously, I haven't played Pokemon cards since I was little.
I was going to say.
When it was still Gen 1. But what they've got is the EX card is basically like a hyped up version, almost like an inform card. But the thing that they can do is rather than what would have to play, say you had, you want to get a Blastoise, so you'd have to play a Squirtle, then your Wartortle, then your Blastoise to obviously evolve him up. If you get the Blastoise EX card, you just play that outright. You don't have to do any of the evolving before, you just chuck out your Blastoise.
Okay.
So they have those kind of cards. So I was playing against some people who it just felt like their deck was just made out of them.
I was going to say, they'll just bad you up, right?
There's RNG in it. Obviously, there's times where you'll do a move and it'll be like flip heads or tails to add more damage, or flip heads or tails to discard energy, flip heads or tails to, when you're confused, flip heads to attack, otherwise tails you hurt yourself. But I've got one Pokemon, I can't remember what his name is, but his move basically is that depending on how many energy you have on that Pokemon, you'll flip the coin, and every time it lands on heads, you'll do 60 damage to the enemy. And I think I flipped a total of 22 coins, and only had 2 heads. And I was like, RNG is just like effing me in the A right now.
Okay.
and it's one of those where, you know, it is random number generated. The game has no reason to favor me or the other person. It's just a quick match, me versus a random person. But sometimes, I just feel like this game is out to get me. You have daily challenges which can earn you a booster pack or the currency. And sometimes it'll be like, use your grass Pokemon to deal 500 damage. And then you'll make yourself a grass deck, or you have a deck of grass Pokemon in it, and then it will match up against a person that's using all fire Pokemon. And you're just like, there's a conspiracy. Like, what is going on? Or the other one that happened is I had one this week. They give you weekly challenges, and it's collect 42 prize cards. When you defeat a Pokemon, you pick one of your 6 prize cards that then get added to your hand. And what kept happening is I would beat somebody and take my first prize card, and then they'd concede. So then they only count as 1. I didn't even get to play through and collect till 6. So that ended up being a bit of a grind, but that's not the game's fault. That's just kind of just how the game plays. I have been thoroughly enjoying it just because the nostalgic feel. It feels like I've gone back as a kid and I'm able to play cards, but without any of the tidy up.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'm not having to spend money. Yeah. I'm not having to spend money and have the disappointments of having no shinies in my pack. I'm able to just play with people around the world. Some people you'll play and they'll have a good chat in the box and you'll be saying like, oh yeah, good play, or like, oh, that was a really good tactic. Oh, amazing coin flip, or oh, that's a bullshit coin flip. But the community's been pretty good. I've only had one person, and I happened to be a Brazilian guy, that was trying to mock me the whole game until I managed to load up my, who did I get? I can't remember. One of my Pokemon, basically, I just slowly stacked up my energy on him. Once I put him into play, he just smashed up the guy's whole, like his front one and his back 5, and he just didn't have nothing to say after that. But yeah, it's been pretty good. I'm really enjoying it. I haven't found any broken features on the app. So this one I feel gets quite a high. I'll give it an 8.5 out of 10. For this app.
Pretty high.
Just because for what the PC does, it does it just as well on my tablet, and I feel like sometimes they take things out of the app. The only thing is that iOS has decided that you can't redeem code. That's the only difference. But aside from that, you get everything that you get out of the PC version. So, and it looks really good, which I've quite enjoyed. So yeah, it's been pretty cool. As always, if you want to get the game, I will try and find the Android. Like I said, I think it's Android tablet only. iOS, I believe, is iPad only, but, you know, there are other means to get them on your phones. I guess, Squeak, that kind of wraps up this week's show. I'm wondering if you prepared a quip this week.
A quip? I was thinking about it, like, this afternoon and stuff, but I've not.
You've not got one?
I've got a random fact for you.
Go on then.
Dolphins recognize and admire themselves in mirrors. Vain fuckers. That's a fact.
Where are they getting the mirrors from?
I don't fucking know. I didn't ask the question.
That's fine. So dolphins admire themselves in the mirror.
Yeah.
Thanks, Squeak. Appreciate that. That's not a mind blown, but that is food for thought.
They're just really vain, isn't it? Like, think about that for a minute. Like you say, they don't even get mirrors, but give them a mirror and they're fucking all up in that shit.
Cool. So that about wraps up this week's show. As always, catch us on the relative media. You've got us on Twitter, @UWatt_. We're on Facebook, facebook.com/UWattpodcast. If you want to listen to us and not see us, although you can't really see us anyway, uwatt.podomatic.com. And as always, our entire catalogue is on YouTube, youtube.com/UWatt. If you'd like to email us, feel free to email us at uwattmail@gmail.com. We are trying to stream a little bit more. It's not regular, but please do add twitch.tv/UWatt. To find us on there. I've been doing a bit of retro play. Squeak hasn't played anything yet, but the channel's only been there for like a week. So yeah. I guess that does it. So as always, I've been Jace, he's been Squeak, and we'll see you next week.
Later.